Hi, I'm Tara Crawford, and this is From Lab to Life, where we dive into deep discussions with researchers from the Martha S. Pitzer Center for Women, Children, and Youth here at The Ohio State College of Nursing. Today we're joined by Dr. Susie Breitenstein, Marlise Nist, and Stephanie Hosley, all who's ready to discuss why what they do is relevant from lab to life. Let's get into the conversation. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
Excellent.
Good. That's so good to hear. Thank you so much for your time. I'm so excited to be speaking with each of you and to learn more about your experiences. So thank you. So we're here today to talk about children and the work that you're doing and how it impacts children. And so I'm very excited. I'm going to start our conversation off by asking a very quick round robin question, and then I'll ask each of you individual questions as it pertains to your particular experiences. And so the first question is very, very fun, and that is, in 90 seconds or less, can you share one of your most memorable experiences about your career so far? Who wants to go first?
I'll start.
Okay.
So when you gave me this question, I was thinking about this, and I don't think there's one memorable experience, but I was thinking about what is the most meaningful, and is when students or faculty who I mentor or parents that I work with kind of talk to me about making a difference in their lives. And so one of the things that in the work I do in parenting, we talk about labeled praise, and that means you identify the things you like that people do for you. Yeah. And I think that works for adults too. And so when I get specific feedback of something where I was helpful, that's important. And then one other thing, I think in terms of my research career, a really meaningful and important piece was when our web-based program was launched in the community, and we really got to see parents be able to access the program and really make a difference in families' lives.
Yes. So. Well, I think what you've just said is very helpful, and just the fact that you're able to receive feedback from the people that you're supporting speaks volumes to your character and your passion, and so I can see how that can be meaningful every day. So thank you for sharing.
So it's like a note to everyone to make sure you say something positive and nice to others that are around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I can go.
Go ahead.
So I have a couple of occasions that are real memorable to me. As part of my research, I get to do neurodevelopmental assessments with preterm infants. And on one occasion, I always invite parents to come and participate in these and to watch these, because it's really fun for the parents to see after all this time in the NICU what their babies can do. And these assessments are motor activity and orienting, whether the babies can orient to sound and sight. And in one occasion, I was doing the assessment and Mom wasn't there yet, but she walked in about halfway through the assessment and the baby went, heard Mom's voice and just immediately responded to that mother, and that was really heartwarming. And on another occasion, I was doing an assessment and Mom and Dad were both there watching, and they were just holding each other in the corner, so proud to watch their little baby turn and move. And so that was really exciting and reminded me of why I do what I do. And ultimately, it's to send these little preterm babies home with the best possible outcomes after a really hard start to life. And I think one of the most memorable occasions for me as a researcher that makes me really proud is I heard from a clinical colleague who had attended a conference that the speaker used my conceptual model in their presentation. Wow. And I was like, what? Somebody other than my husband reads my papers? I was really excited to hear that. Those are the things that keep me going.
That is very memorable, and it just also speaks to the fact that we may have difficult starts, but if we have people like you who are there to guide us, to support us, it makes all the difference. And when your baby is in the NICU, that can be very frightening, especially for first-time parents or any parent in general. So I like that, and I'm happy that your presentation was shared too. So thank you.
Like them, I have multiple experiences, right? And so I think the one from the clinical side is we always want to know that we're making a difference, and not just another clinician in the lives of our patients. And so like you, I work with children with neurodevelopmental disorders, but in a primary care sense, and a patient passed away. And so I was contacted by the mom, and she said, I know how much you cared about him and how much he meant to you, and I wanted to make sure that you knew and that you heard it from me. And the fact that in the midst of everything that she was doing and grieving, that she wanted to make sure that I knew because she realized how much I cared.
Yes.
Let me know that, she did, that we are making a difference,
Yes.
right? Because even in those moments that, she felt like I should know and be part of that grieving process. And then here in the college, I think one of the most meaningful experiences is during a collaboration with the community health worker program. They bring in their kids and they become a part of the process, and they serve as standardized patients. And so this one particular young lady, she was probably about 7 or 8, had been there several weeks in a row. And she knew the last week was coming up. So when she walked in that night, she just walked in and she was so proud, and she had this gift bag and she said, "I wanted you to have this." And her mom said she was just really excited. She had to bring you a gift because it was the last day.
Yes.
And I look in the bag and it was an apple and a piece of candy, and it came from some gift or something that she had had. So she gave me her favorite snacks.
Wow.
Because she wanted to know that she really had fun in the lab. And so hoping that her exposure to healthcare in a different manner than just going to her appointments, I'm hopeful that it will have an impact later on. So.
And I'm sure it will. Just hearing your passion and the fact that you've been so dedicated to everything that you're doing day in and day out, and it's clearly resonating with the families and the people that you're working with. And I'm sure that it will. And I'm also happy to know that the family contacted you and shared something. And that's some very sensitive information. But again, I have said this already, but it really does speak to you as a person. And so it's very meaningful, and you should know that you are making a difference. So, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. So, I don't want to start off crying. But coming back. I might. But I appreciate learning more about each of you, and it's very intriguing and gets me to want to ask each of you some more questions.